My name is Kenan Gibson, and today the crisis I chose to cover was the crisis in Ukraine that's happening right now as we speak. It started around in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea. Is a is a place located in Ukraine. Basically, Russians they sent soldiers in like unmarked with no insignia, so you couldn't tell who they were. They sent them to invade and denied all allegations until 2 months later when they finally said, "Okay, Crimea is finally it's a part of Russia now," and that's basically when this whole debacle started. The two opposing sides of this is Russia, Ukraine, of course. Russia's led by Vladimir Putin. He wants to restore Russia to its former glory days of like when it was considered the Soviet Union, when it had all this territory during the Cold War and was going back and forth with the United States. It wants to go back to that type of power. That's his goal. And since he's been in office, he's kind of transitioned Russia from democracy, because it was more elections and basis things like that, to now it's kind of like it's not like a dictatorship, but it's kind of authoritarian. You know, he's kind of like the sole ruler, whatever he says goes type thing. And during this war, it's been over undocumented, because it's been so many, like the numbers grow every day, and it's a bunch of casualties that aren't documented. It's been over probably about 500,000 or at 500,000 casualties of this war. There's been also almost 10,000 civilian, almost 10,000 civilian casualties as well. And most of these casualties, a lot of them is not just because of the war going on. It's just because, you know, it's disrupting the economy. There's no doctors. So the hospitals are overrun with soldiers and civilians alike. And this war, it not only affects, you know, just Ukraine and Russia, because when in 2014, going back to my first point, in 2014 when Russia invaded Crimea, Ukraine especially, and other countries around Europe, and also in NATO, and that's kind of like United States and some more countries, they deemed it a violation of international law. And so basically, you know, you had these a whole bunch of sides going back and forth and butting heads. And, you know, as this war goes on, tensions continually rise. And there's been threats of nuclear warfare. I know yesterday, Russia, they started experimenting, or kind of just trying to boost themselves up, because they have it's a new type of Armageddon type nuclear bomb that they have. It's like 18 tons, and it's like one big nuclear bomb that has a bunch of nuclear bombs inside of it. It's called the Satan II. And it's just like a whole lot of craziness going on back and forth between the countries. And I chose this crisis because, like I said, it affects the world. And, you know, if things keep boiling over how it is, we could see another World War III, and that could be something that's just gonna change the world. That's not just, you know, something that has to do with those two countries. That's world changing, and that's something we should pay attention to.